Erwin, before he says anything else to any of you, crosses his arms and looks over his shoulders and goes, Brom? Bray? What did you do?
No, nothing of the sort. I'm to understand that you are someone who could be trusted.
His face softens a little bit and goes, well, whatever they did, it must not have been too bad then. Papa, we went to go get them because Grandpa said to, and his face darkens again. But he looks away from the boys and back to you, and he says, you can trust me. It's safe here from the devil and any of his eyes. And he kind of points over the door, and you look. There's a really similar sun sigil to the one that Kelvin had seen on the churches, or on the church back in the village of Barovia.
Okay. I'll speak plainly then, because I fear there's not much time.
Whoa. Ominous.
Eastmark, this man here, you know him, yes?
Erwin kind of looks at the Eastmark, and he's like, I can't say that I recognize him, no.
Oh, I thought his name as the Burgermeister's son would have gone wide. But in any case...
Eastmark is relatively... You mean to say this is Eastmark Kolyanovich?
Yes.
Oh. Yes, I've heard of the Kolyanoviches. What is the Burgomaster's son doing out of Barovia?
Well, he's been afflicted. He needs to have his curse removed.
His eyes kind of go wide for a moment, and then he gets really close to you and grabs you by the lapel, and he says, did one of my boys do this?
Your boys?
One of...
I hope not.
Was... And he just kind of sets you down, and he looks over his shoulder, and Brom and Bray are shaking their head. They're like, Papa, we know better. And he just looks at you confused, and he goes, oh, by a werewolf? And you got him through the gate? Do you know if he's bitten another human? Or a humanoid of any kind?
I know not.
I don't believe so.
Oh, good. I don't know the spell, but... And you hear this voice. Excuse me. I do. And there's this, elf. It's actually a half-elf that's sitting there. It's the only other customer that had been in the Blue Water at this time of night. It's a little early for bar drinkers, even. It's a old man, for a half-elf. He's kind of got these spectacles resting on the end of his nose. And he says, I can remove the curse for you. Please, show me where he is. And the man introduces himself. He says, my name is Rictavio. I came here with my friend, Dee. And I say the only other patrons. He's sitting there with a young woman, human woman, who has this big old halberd with her. She's got a big leather pauldron on one side. He says, I came here with my friend, Dee. We are part of a traveling carnival, and we passed through the mists of Barovia, and became...
You look like hunters.
Trapped here. Hunters? Hunters of what kind?
Werewolves.
I don't know what you mean. And he kind of stiffly gets up and walks away from you. I would say make an insight check, but you don't really have to because you get the feeling he's definitely keeping something from you. All of you get that feeling.
Vampire Hunter D is my favorite anime, so I just kind of went there.
Nice. I didn't even think about that. And the young woman, she's very chipper. She's the first non-Barovian, and she's non-Barovian because she has this very olive-colored skin, short black hair. She looks nothing like any of the native Barovians you've seen so far. And she's very chipper. And she says, hello, it's good to meet all of you. So Rictavio, yeah, he took me in when I was a young kid, and because I could wrestle bears, and that was kind of my thing at the. I
slowly darken my skin, like one small shade shift at a time.
Till you like match her.
Yeah.
She just while she's talking, she goes, that is an incredibly good trick. Do you know magic too? Rictavio knows magic. And she just blah, 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 blah. But she's very talkative, and Rictavio is finally like, D, please, I need quiet to concentrate on the spell. Oh, sorry, Rictavio. And, he'll bend over and inspect Ismark's face and kind of brush the hair off of his forehead and lay his palm firmly on his forehead and start speaking in Celestial as he whispers an ancient prayer to the Morning Lord.
Is that up in the room?
Yes, this is up in the room, and they pretty much allow you because there's not anyone else there. And as a matter of fact, Erwin locks the front in door and puts out the front couple of candles at the mention of the werewolf, and with Rictavio saying that he'll help. And after he makes the little introduction, Erwin and the boys busy about like close up shop, don't let anybody know we've got other people here right now. So yeah, it's pretty open viewing for him as he's casting this spell, and you see as light glows from the palm of his hand and washes very suddenly over the entire body of Ismark and just envelops him for a second. And as the light sinks into him, you see his shallow breathing becomes much deeper, and the pain that was clearly etched on his face from whatever nightmares and visions were raking through his brain are gone as his face just relaxes. And Rictavio goes, if he changed last night, even without biting, he'll be asleep for another day or two. And just kind of stands back up. It's at this point that you realize, then anyway, the cane that this old man has been walking with.
Oh, I didn't know him.
Really, oh yeah, he's an older half elf. This cane that he's been walking with looks really familiar, like almost exactly, with a few slight differences, almost exactly like the one that's in your bag, Vin. And that's where we'll stop for the night.
Oh, damn you, Greg. You did this to me last week. Last week I had to spend a whole week with my head in my hands.